fact, when you guys were at our church in September, I was having a hard time just holding back from singing with you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Liberty Quartet 30th Anniversary Video Podcast Miniseries. That's a lot of words to fit in a short amount of time, but it all makes sense because we're going back to talk with all the current and former members, as many as we can, of Liberty Quartet, and we just want to get to know them. That we have a lot of new followers that have been coming into our ministry recently and following us all over social media, and they really don't know any of the former members of Liberty, and we want to, and Peyton and I, some of the members we don't know either, so this is kind of an adventure for us as well. And Brother Peyton, you're joining us down in Benson, Arizona, is that correct?
Once again, yes I am.
Once again, that tree looks familiar, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's starting to come back to life. I don't know. She ended up having to let me out as of the last episode, so.
And it's been actually pretty chilly from what I understand down in Arizona, right?
Yeah, the low is like in the low 40s, and the high is like low 60s.
That is straight up cold for Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fighting a little bit of allergy issues. I don't know about you, but when we got back from our last tour, we came back, it was 81, 82 down in Arizona. We landed in Boise and it was 35. And my nose has just gotten, it's just, oh man, I can't believe what it is. And it's trying so hard to give me a sinus infection. I'm bound and determined not to let that happen. And it's been windy down there and dusty for you from what I understand.
Yeah, I took a walk yesterday and it was so dusty. It went all up in my nose and everything, and it was awful. Been battling stuff all day now ever since.
Oh man, that's always fun. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm really excited about this one. This episode we're doing here. Now, I had never met this guy until August of this past year when we were back home and we were getting ready for our retreat that we have started back in 2020, and we just so happened to sing at this gentleman's home church, and I didn't know it was his home church until he showed up. He came walking through the door. I know that guy. I've seen his face before, but I'd never met him in person, and neither had you. You'd never met him in person,
no,
even though you go to that church.
Either, no.
Right? You go to that
church. I go to that church like once every 4 months, yeah.
And you didn't know he went to that church either. And he walked through the doors, and I said, oh my goodness, there's Mike Peters. I've never met this guy. I need to go down and talk to him. And you followed me, and we just went right up in his face. I felt so bad. It was like he was getting surrounded by these young guys. And he was so nice. He was so kind. And I tell you what, when we came up with this idea to do this podcast back in December, this is one of the conversations I was really, really, really looking forward to, because we just don't have the time a lot to just sit with some of the guys and just sit and talk, and we just don't. And we're constantly working. We're on the road, but this is one I'm really looking forward to. So I want everybody to meet Mr. Mike Peters. How are you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great.
Doing great.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you said yes. You were one of the first guys that responded to me when I was sending out all the emails. You were one of the first that said, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm there. And we had a little bit of a snafu before this started. I felt so bad. We were right in the middle of recording Dan. We just got done recording Dan, and I'm still in my same shirt, so I haven't even changed shirts yet. But we were right in the middle, and my phone started ringing, and I couldn't pick it up because Dan was in the middle of a story, and I didn't want to interrupt. So we got done with Dan, and I look at my phone, and I see a phone number that I don't recognize because you're not in my phone. Well, you are now, and I'm like, I'll bet you anything that's Mike. So I called it back, ring, 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 no answer. I'm like, oh, great. And this whole time I'm running downstairs to see if you're down in the lobby. I hit the button again, and 2 rings, and he answers. And he says, hello? I said, hey, Mike, this is Will Airdsmith with Liberty. I saw you called. I'm so sorry I missed your call. We were in the middle of the interview." And he says, "Will? I'm with Will." I said, "Uh-oh." It just so happens that there's a pastor that works here at the church. His name is also Will.
Yes.
And so you had come. he had showed up almost 20 minutes early, and had talked to the secretary at the front desk. And you said, "I'm here for an interview with Will."
And she said, "Well, he should be here pretty soon. Have a seat."
Have a seat. And the pastor, Will, comes up and says, "I'm so sorry I'm late.
That's right.
Do you want to go? Let's go get a coffee." And he had no idea what was going on. So you guys had literally pulled into the parking lot of the coffee shop when I called you.
That's correct.
So he was all confused. I was all confused. I'm like, "Who's this Will guy he's talking to?" Just some random Will guy that was in the building. But we got it all figured out, and you were no more than 5 minutes away. And Brother Will brought you back, and I met you out in the parking lot, and here we are.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I'm so sorry about that. I apologize.
It worked out great. I met a nice gentleman.
From what I understand, he's a very nice man. Yeah. And
you get your coffee?
He never did get his coffee. No,
I got pulled away from that
one. So, Brother Mike, we want to start off with. I'm going to take a drink here in a second, but we want to start off with. And a lot of people don't know, but you were the first lead singer for Liberty Quartet back.
That's correct.
Liberty started back in 1995.
That's correct.
And you were with Liberty for a couple years, but then you left because you had a job on the side. But we'll get to all that. But I want to start off with where you were born and raised.
Okay.
Can you start off with that?
I think I can.
You can?
My twin sister and I were born in Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
So I'm a native, and we attended churches in Boise and attended schools and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I got involved with music.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, in grade school, we did some singing, and I was invited to enter a boys' choir.
Okay.
So I did that for a couple of years. About that time, I think my voice changed, so I was out of the boys' choir.
Okay.
and continued music throughout the Boise school system, which at the time was a very good. They were known for their music system in Boise.
Okay. And so I didn't know you had a twin sister.
That's correct.
You don't look alike, do you?
No, somewhat, but we do have differences.
Yeah. Does she sing too?
She does. As a matter of fact, when we were in school together, we were in choir together and so forth.
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly in junior high, my voice had not changed yet, so I think I sat next to her in the soprano section.
Wow.
We had a little bit of competition going on.
Yeah. That's great. Do you have any other siblings besides your twin sister?
I do. I have an older sister and a younger sister who passed away.
Okay. And did they sing too?
All of them. My older sister had an amazing voice. Probably could have done very well, but got married and had children and so forth. My younger sister didn't do as much singing, but my twin sister did quite a bit.
Yeah. So all your siblings sang. I'm assuming your parents then sang as well. Then
my dad,
at least one of them. Did.
My mom.
Your mom.
Yeah,
did?
she was involved with music, and my dad wasn't a singer.
Okay. So you kind of grew up in a musical family,
right?
Went to church, sang in choir,
right?
That's great. So you sang from an early age. You had music in you from a very early age.
That's correct.
And did you ever hear of this thing called Southern gospel music?
As a matter of fact, very little had I known about it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you later how I got to know a lot more. Part of it's being in the quartet.
Yeah, because there's a reason why they call it Southern Gospel, and that's because it's down in the Bible Belt, Tennessee and Georgia and Alabama. So it doesn't make it up this way very often, if at all.
That's right.
Liberty, a lot of people don't know, we are the only full-time Southern Gospel group west of the Rockies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're the only ones. There used to be another one called Keepers of the Faith out of Seattle, but they're not touring full time anymore. They still do dates here and there, but they're not full time anymore. And there's some groups down in California, and they're all part time. But so we're the only full timers out here. But back when Liberty started, it wasn't that way. And we'll get to that here in a minute. So, did you go to school for music, or what did you go to college for? Did you go to college?
Yes, I went to Boise State University.
Okay.
My wife and I both graduated. And I started out in another field of study, but I ended up in music ed.
Oh, okay.
And so I graduated with a music ed degree and taught public school music for several years.
Very cool. That's what I went to school for.
Did you meet your wife in college, or did you meet your wife before or after?
We were, excuse me.
Yeah.
We met. I was a senior and she was a junior in the spring of whatever the year was, and then we continued on dating and so forth, and married, and attended Boise State.
Okay. And so you went to school as a music ed major.
That's correct.
So did I. What a coincidence that is. Did you play any instruments?
I played piano. As a matter of fact, I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Because I was a singer. I loved singing, but I also played piano, and I was kind of doing a dual major. And when the amount of hours that you spend, as you know,
oh yeah,
you can't do both really very well. So I left
and
piano
that
behind.
Does is crazy.
Yeah. So I continued with vocal and was in a variety of choirs and did a lot of music performance.
Okay. And so you graduated, I'm assuming, with a bachelor's?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you ever go on to a master's?
No, I did not.
Okay. And when you graduated and got out of college, did you have a job right away?
I did.
To go teach? Where did you go teach?
I actually interviewed for two jobs. One was in a little farm town near Twin Falls, Idaho.
Okay.
And the other was in Carson City, Nevada.
Oh, wow.
And the reason Carson City, my parents lived not too far from there.
Okay.
They had moved there, and so I thought, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to be in that area. So I interviewed for the two jobs. The job in the southern Idaho town would have been band and choir.
Oh.
And they offered the job to me. The other job was strictly vocal, and I took that in Carson City.
Okay. So how long did you teach down there?
Well, it was a mid-year change for the person that was there. It was not a good situation. There's a lot of details to that we don't need to talk about, but it was. But I finished that semester and came back to Boise and had a job here.
Oh, okay. So you came back to Boise to teach. How long did you teach?
I taught in Boise for 2 years.
2 years.
And then first time I'd ever been out of the state, I went to Oregon, and Roseburg, Oregon.
Okay.
And they had an opening for choir director in Roseburg, and I was there for 2 years.
Okay.
And at the end of the 2 years, I told my wife, Lynette, I said, I don't see me retiring as a choir director. And so we came back to Boise and did some other things.
Okay. So where do I go from here? Oh, I know what I was going to say. So, you were a member of a church and part of the church this whole time, right? And so when you came back to Boise area, and you joined up with, if I remember right, you went to Boise first.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And we had talked with Royce a couple episodes ago, and he told us his story of how he started off in Oregon and then eventually came out this way to be the worship minister. Do you remember when Royce first walked through the door?
Pretty much, yes. And he'd been a high school director here in Boise and did very well.
Yeah.
I mean, the choir was a very good choir.
What was your first thought when you saw this young man in his 20s coming out of...
Yeah. Well, first off, you don't miss the voice.
Right. Yeah.
Royce has a voice, and I knew that was a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I knew he had done very well in the choral system here in Boise, and he was coming on board at our church as a music ministry. And so I was pleased, and shortly after he sang, I was even more pleased.
Yeah. I like to say he's probably the most underrated bass singer in our industry, in my opinion. I mean, the man has got a range that just won't quit. And
my wife and I have repeatedly said, I mean, I don't have anything against Liberty, but we feel like he could have gone just about anywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So did you strike up a friendship with him immediately, or was it like a gradual thing that your friendship started, or conversations started? When did that all happen?
Well, I was a member of the Boise First Church and was in choir, and he was the director of the choirs as a worship minister, and so that was the first real introduction, was just his leadership in the choir and so forth, and I could see he was good at that.
Yeah.
And then the discussion of quartet didn't come up right away. As a matter of fact, it was a while, and then there were two other members of the church and myself and Royce, and I think Royce I don't recall exactly how it happened, but I believe he said, well, we should, let's try singing a song together and see how it works out.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning, and more than one person said, you guys have a pretty good sound.
Yeah.
And maybe you should go sing for other churches and so forth. And that's how it started.
And from what I understand, Ralph Yerkes was also a member of Boise First Church.
Yes, that's
where he went, and both of you guys were in choir.
Yes.
It was you and Keith Jones,
Right.
and Ralph Yerkes. Y'all were in the choir before Royce ever got there, from what I understand, and so you guys knew each other I would say somewhat pretty well. Were you close to them at all before you guys started singing together?
Not so much with Ralph, more with Keith and his wife. We were friends, and so we spent some time together.
Okay.
But Ralph we just didn't know him that well.
Yeah.
But when he entered the quartet, we got to know him pretty quickly.
Okay. And the way Royce tells it is that Ralph would come up to him, and I guess Ralph was just this Southern Gospel encyclopedia.
I have
super fan.
Never known anyone with as much knowledge. I mean, ancient knowledge, and current knowledge. I mean, he would come together when we get together for a rehearsal or whatever. He'd be talking the whole time about who was best, who was doing well, who was competing, and so forth in the Southern Gospel world. I was amazed.
He's one guy that I really wish I could have just kind of picked his brain,
Yeah, me too.
Because I grew up. So a little bit of background, just so you know, is that I grew up in Southern Gospel music. My parents had a group before I was born.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
And so I was just born into it. And I remember growing up in northeast Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, is where I was born and raised, and. My mom was the secretary of a church on the north side of town called Northland Christian, and they started this event in the late 80s, I believe, and they called it the Saturday Night Alternative. And I remember as a little kid going to all these concerts, and they'd bring in anybody.
Oh,
I mean, they brought in Florida Boys, they brought in J.D. Sumner and the Stamps, they brought in Gold City, they brought in the Tallies, they brought in, I mean, you name it, they were there. And it was incredible. I mean, 'cause even though Kansas is farther east and south than Idaho is, obviously, a lot of groups, it's still a far drive for them, and a lot of them just wouldn't come out there unless they had a good anchor, and that alternative was a good anchor. So that's how I grew up with Southern Gospel music, and I fell in love with it. I got the bug right away.
Sure.
And did you ever get the Southern Gospel bug? Did it ever?
I would say no in terms of the Southern Gospel.
Yeah.
I just love to sing.
Yeah. So you did get the music bug though.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And once I got the flavor of it, I mean, I've done barbershop, and I've loved barbershop. I've done choral work, large group choral work, and so forth. And I love that.
Yeah.
But when we start getting together and singing Southern Gospel, I was thinking, this is kind of cool. And I had literally, I'd probably heard it on the radio, but I'd never really studied Southern Gospel.
Yeah. So when Ralph would ever talk about Southern Gospel groups, was it kind of overwhelming? You're like, man, I have no idea who he's talking about, or did you kind of soak it up and kind of figure?
I did, but I have to tell you that Ralph was the one that just blew me away, as we've already mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, we would sit down and have a meal or something, and it would be nonstop. Ralph would have this group, that group. This. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that person moving from this group to that group? It was amazing, and I don't think I could have ever gotten to that point, but I was just amazed at what and really impressed with how much he knew about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and was Keith ever that way too? Keith kind of. He's a fan of Southern gospel. I don't think as much
Right.
as Ralph ever was, but
I'm not sure anyone is. But Keith and I were probably similar in that regard. I mean, we'd done other musics and so forth. And I enjoyed singing and performing it, but I just didn't know that much about it.
okay. Go ahead there,
I
Peyton.
want to ask, because for me, I mean, I've only ever had one conversation with you. I never got to meet Ralph Yerkes. I've met Keith Jones a couple times, and of course I travel with Royce now. How was the chemistry between y'all? Were y'all really good friends on the road? And like, did y'all like, how did y'all mesh together? Was that a lot of fun? Were y'all like best friends?
I would say on the road. Of course, you're in church with each other other times and so forth.
Yeah.
That pretty well went away when we went on the road. But we got together well, and we'd have a meal and we'd share things and so forth. And I never felt any issues or any problems or whatever. It was just a well made up group.
Yeah. So, so you guys got together, and from what I understand, it was Royce and Ralph that were just. Once Ralph figured out that Royce liked Southern gospel music, I mean, it was like a magnet. They were just.
Where's the other two?
Yeah.
That's about what it was.
And I think Keith Jones got involved a little bit after that, and then they came to you and said, "Hey, let's get together and see how we do." Do you remember that first time you guys got on stage?
Well, I remember the first time we rehearsed.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, it was again. I wasn't a Southern gospel fan yet, and so it wasn't. It was new to me, and all of a sudden these sounds. And I've been in barbershop enough to know that those sounds can be really amazing.
Oh yeah.
And this was different, similar, and the vocal, the melding of the voices. I've been in a choir director long enough to know that you can pick 4 people that will never sound good together.
Oh yeah.
And you can pick 2 of those people and put it with 2 other people, and they sound amazing.
Yeah.
And it's that chemistry, it's the vocal timbre and so forth that all go together. It was immediate.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, listen to that sound.
Where did this come from?
And I didn't want to say anything right away, but I'm thinking, is this as good as it sounds? Really? And apparently it was.
Yeah. So after your first rehearsal, I'm assuming your first concert, I guess, in front of people was at Boise First.
Oh, yeah. We had a captive audience. Yeah.
So do you remember that?
I don't remember the first performance.
Yeah.
What I remember is the response.
Yeah.
And I've already kind of led to that. That people were saying, you sound pretty good, right? and people that know music. It wasn't just anybody. But, and you can get a really sore arm patting yourself on the back on how good you are. But and that's one of the things about performing that you have to be careful with.
Oh yeah.
As you know.
Oh yeah.
But the response was, and what I thought was interesting is they were immediately kind of suggesting we go share that somewhere else. It wasn't they didn't like it.
Yeah.
They thought
they wanted other people to hear
this
it.
is good enough. You should go sing for some others.
Yeah.
And that was my kind of initial thought is, well, maybe we should do that. And I have always felt, I guess, kind of sad for small churches, and there's hundreds of them that never really get to get a group to come in, and they can't afford to have some groups in, and so we filled that void for some.
Wow. So people were like, man, you guys sound good. You should go sing here and there and everywhere. And Royce always says the first concert that you all did outside of Boise First was at a nursing home. Is that right?
I believe that is. Yeah, I believe that is true. I don't remember where, but we did quite a few, and that was new to me. So I wasn't really familiar with going out and singing for other folks, but it was a good response.
Yeah, and we still do that. We still go to nursing homes and care centers. And,
that's awesome.
And we don't get to do it very often, but we do
My
it.
very first concert with Liberty was at a senior center there in Homedale.
Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's
My
sake!
first ever one.
Yeah.
In Homedale.
In Homedale.
Oh, for heaven! That's awesome.
That's a funny story. So he got off the plane. Dorn picked him up at Boise Airport. That was his first time on a plane. He had never flown on a plane before.
You're kidding.
No.
And he'd never seen snow before either, because he grew up in Florida.
Yeah, there's not much snow down there.
No, there's not much snow down there. So Dorn picks him up at the airport, takes him to lunch or whatever it was that day before, and that next day, I think we were singing there at like noon or something. It was a weird time. And
it was a little earlier than that.
It was something like 10:30 or something.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember the time of day. I remember it was cold. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And
it's freezing.
Yeah. And so we were on the bus, and we pulled up in front of the senior center, and you were with Dorn, if I remember right, and we met you all there.
Right.
I'd never met this young man until that moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm Will.
And then you stepped up on the stage.
Yeah, he says, hey, I'm Peyton. And
that's amazing.
And that's about all it was, but we had to pick up, we had to load in, so we'd take all the equipment in there. And there's maybe 20, 25 people there. So it wasn't too intimidating. But
no.
We had, I believe, we sound checked probably about 2 songs, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And
if even one.
yeah. There's like half of a song we did a sound check, and then we were off to the races.
Well, obviously you rehearsed remotely.
No, we didn't rehearse at all.
Oh, for crying out loud.
No, we didn't rehearse.
We sent them a list.
That was the first time I'd ever sang with them.
Yeah,
ever.
We sent them a list. We sent them a list of songs and said, "Hey, learn these." However many songs it was. Yeah,
there you go.
I think it was like 20 or 25 songs, something like that. I had 35. I had more than you when I tried out.
Oh, well, we just show off.
But we asked him, "Did you learn all your songs?" And he's like, "I think I got most of it." And we just went from there. And
I learned every single one except for one.
Yeah.
And funny enough, it was one Dorn wrote. It was "I'm His." That's the one I didn't.
Oh. Yeah. So that's really funny how that works. And so we never had a rehearsal with him, but you guys had a rehearsal with each other. And so after that first concert that you guys did in church, and then the first concert outside of church, word kind of spread a little bit that, hey, there's this group out of Boise First. And how was it right away that you guys started getting calls of, hey, can you guys come to our church, or can you come to our event, or can you come to our birthday party, or how quickly did that happen?
Pretty quickly, initially,
and
it just was a matter of getting the schedule put together, because Ralph had a business of his own, and of course Keith was. He had an engineering company, and I had our business, and so it was like, when can we get together? When can we sing, and so forth?
Yeah.
And then eventually, of course, as you know, it moves to the weekends where you can get into the services for the churches.
Yeah.
But it took a little while, but it wasn't that long.
Hello, everyone. Future Will here. Just wanted to let you know of a few details regarding our 30th anniversary celebration coming up in September. It's going to be September 18th through the 20th at Valley Shepherd Church of the Nazarene there in Meridian, Idaho. We have invited all of the former members of Liberty to return and come sing with us, and it's going to be a great time. We hope you all can be there. On Friday the 18th, in the evening, we're going to have a welcome banquet at 6 o'clock there at the dining hall. On Saturday the 19th in the morning, we're going to have a brunch. You're going to have the afternoon off, and in the evening, we're going to have an outdoor barbecue and hymn sing and the pavilion outside, which is going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to that. Seating for both Friday and Saturday are limited due to space, so if you want to be there, you need to sign up early, and I'll let you know how to do that here in a second. Finally, the big concert on Sunday night. We're changing the time. We're moving it up from 6. We're going to move it up to 5 o'clock in the evening. Doors are going to open at 4. Once again, the concert is going to start at 5. The doors are going to open at 4. So if you want a good seat, get there early. All of the events are going to be held there at Valley Shepherd Church of the Nazarene. For more information, here's what you need to know. Signups can be found on our website, libertyquartet.com/events. Scroll down to the 30th anniversary picture, click on that, and it will tell you everything you need to know. All right? We also invite you to sign up for our weekly email newsletter that we send out every week. We also encourage you to follow us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube are our main platforms. We release a lot of information on those platforms as well, so make sure you follow us there. Our entire schedule can be found on our website as well, so libertyquartet.com/tour is our entire schedule. Also, if you have a smartphone, you can download the Bands in Town app, and our entire schedule is on there as well, and it'll notify you when we're in your area, and it's free on top of that. All that being said, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I'm going to quit talking. We're going to get back to the podcast. See ya.
So Liberty essentially was officially founded in October of 1995, from October 15th, if I remember correctly, from Royce. And so you guys kind of sang a little bit for a year, and then in 1996, things started kind of picking up for Liberty Quartet.
Right.
And you guys started traveling quite a lot.
Yeah.
Can you, and I don't want to get too much into the weeds, because I'm sure there's all kinds of stories of how you guys started out and trying to figure out schedules and stuff. But I remember Royce saying that he felt that God was calling him to go full time with this.
That's correct.
And how was that transition going from kind of part-time-ish to full-time? I mean, at least Royce was full-time, but you guys all had jobs and
correct.
businesses on the side.
Right.
I'm sure that was hard
It was.
to travel all that much and then try to get back home in time to go back to work.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember one trip very distinctly was we were over in Eugene, Oregon, and we finished several. I think we had 3 concerts that day, and we were heading back, and it was just pouring rain. I was driving.
Yeah.
Of course, we had a Keith's travel all piled with stuff. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have a bus. We didn't have a trailer. We didn't,
You had an SUV or something like that.
Yeah. It was just enough to get the stuff in and refit.
Yeah.
And then I was driving back, and the rain was just pouring down, and I'm thinking, wow. And we got in late Sunday night or early Monday morning, I think. And of course, the next day I'm headed to the office.
Yeah.
And there were days when I thought, wow, this is tough.
Yeah.
How do these people do it all the time?
Yeah.
And of course, most of them don't have second jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have full-time jobs to go
That's
back.
right.
It is their full-time job.
That is their first job.
Which is, of course, what it is for us now.
Sure.
It's our full-time thing.
Right.
So, and did you have kids by that? Did you have any kids by that point?
Oh, yeah.
And how old were your kids by that point? Do you remember?
Well, they're all in either junior high or high school.
Okay.
So they were involved with a lot of sports
Right.
and concerts and things like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it started weighing on me a little bit. I'm away, and I told my son when I left, I wish I could be at your game tomorrow, but I'll see you.
Missing ball games and missing recitals and all that kind of thing.
And I don't know whether you want to go into this, but I was the first member that left the initial quartet. And I was. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah,
I was struggling a little bit with the weekends and then work and weekends and work, and occasional during the week as well.
Yeah,
concerts, and I had been praying about it and thinking, I'm a member of this quartet, and it's important that I be a member of this quartet.
Yeah, and
I was struggling with missing some of our children's events, and my wife, of course. And I said, God, I'm just struggling. It was the same concert or the same trip that I was just mentioning to Eugene. I'm standing out in the foyer, and there's a gentleman standing there, and I stuck up a conversation. I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Fine." I said, "What do you do?" And he says, "I'm a construction worker." He says, "In fact, I used to work in northern Idaho up by Coeur d'Alene." I said, "Used to?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "I came home one time. I was working there, and my family is in Eugene, and I came home." And my son said, "Dad, do you remember that one time we went camping?" And it hit him. It hit him right here.
Hit you like a brick.
And he said, all of a sudden he realized he was missing a lot of what was going on. And so that was probably the beginning of my decision to part with Liberty.
Okay. There's a quote, and I've said it here a couple times on this podcast, but there's a quote I remember from Daddy Blackwood of the Blackwood Quartet, and he would always say, if the lights are brighter on stage than they are at home, there's a problem. In other words, take care of your home life first. And what we do as a ministry comes second. Your home is first. And there's a lot of the guys in Liberty, two in particular I think of right away are Paul and Doran. They both came to the same conclusion when they were originally with the group. Right. They got off the road to help out with their family through those formative years, and they were missing stuff at home, and it just weighed on them, and so it's completely understandable. I mean, right. People don't realize that happens a lot in this industry, where a guy will join a group and they'll last maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, and it's just not for them. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with somebody that says this is not for me.
Yeah.
And
but I think what weighed heavily on me was you can't get away from saying I'm leaving, and now you got to figure out what to do.
Right.
And that was hard for me.
Yeah.
And I've thought about it a lot over the years.
Yeah. And but so kind of going back to when you were with Liberty, is there a certain Peyton, you asked this question better than I do about what you took away from it. Can you?
Oh yeah.
Can you word it better? You can word it better than I can.
Yeah. Sure. So I guess this is kind of like an overarching theme that we've been asking every single guy, I guess. But we've, what is one in your time with Liberty? Is there anything, whether it came from Royce or just your experience traveling, is there anything that you learned in your time at Liberty that kind of bled into your life after? Is there anything that you still use to this day that you learned from Royce Mitchell or Liberty that you use in your life, I guess, today?
Well, I think there's a lot to that.
Yeah, there is.
But
you kind of touched on it a little earlier, but
yeah, what I probably take, and this is maybe not everybody feels this way, but when I was up on the platform or the stage or the whatever you want to call it, and we started singing, nothing pleased me more than to feel God's presence and His direction that I was where I needed to be. And when I sing, I communicate. And I would watch that crowd and look at individuals, and I'd pick an individual that I felt like that's somebody that needs to hear this. And while I was singing, I was doing that. I still do that to this day when I sing. But I think part of it was just understanding that there's so many different individuals out there. Not everybody, A, might even like the music, but B, are they really listening to the lyrics? And so that's probably my number one takeaway in terms of the entire experience.
Yeah.
But I've already mentioned Ralph's enthusiasm and Keith's steadiness. I mean, he was always there, always there.
Yeah.
And then Royce, of course, his leadership, his talent, and his ability to not only put the group together, but keep the group and do what's been done for 30 years now.
Yeah. And when Royce started the group, he was the young guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was
by far.
He was 30, I want to say 35, 36, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and I was a little older than that. Yeah.
And now all these 30 years later, he's the old guy.
Well, where does that put me? I'm the older guy.
You're a grizzled ancient. Is that appropriate?
That'll work. That'll work.
And it's so cool though that Royce likes to tell the joke that when he started singing full-time Southern gospel music, that he was singing to older people. And now it's getting harder and harder to find them.
Got to go to those nursing homes.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's kind of this, I don't want to say stigma, but there's this, I guess stigma is the right word, I'm not sure how else to say it, that Southern gospel is kind of for the older generation, 55 plus.
Right.
And I don't think that's quite correct. There's a lot of, and I think it mainly comes down to exposure of the music. A lot of young folks they've never heard it before.
That's true.
Because either their their grandparents loved it, but their parents didn't. And so they just never grew up listening to Southern gospel music.
That's right.
And I know for me, I grew up with it, and I love it. I love Southern gospel. I'm just like Ralph. I can tell you about who's moved where and when, but nowadays, I'm seeing a young resurgence in Southern gospel music. There's a lot of young folks they're joining all these groups now, including Brother Peyton here. He was 19 when he joined us.
Wow.
Jordan, Jordan.
Yes.
He was he wasn't even out of college yet when he joined Liberty Quartet. There's a couple, real young bass singers that are out there singing full time, and they're not even out of their early 20s. So, I think Southern gospel is kind of coming back around. The pendulum's swinging the other way, starting to, I think. And did you ever feel like there was, whenever young people would come into a concert, that they would gain an appreciation for Southern gospel music?
Actually, that was one of my goals, I guess.
Yeah.
When I was on that stage and we were getting ready to perform.
Yeah.
Well, I would look out and see those people, and I'd say, "There's somebody that needs to hear this," like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter whether they were 15 or 115.
Right.
I wanted to communicate, and the group did a good job of communicating to those people.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think young people, if they really pay attention to what Southern gospel is, the beautiful harmonies, the lyrics and so forth, they're going to like it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the exposure.
Yeah. And
Now, I know you said that you weren't really a fan of Southern Gospel before Liberty, and now that you're not in Liberty anymore, would you say that you're still a fan now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And it's interesting when I turn the radio on, and I don't know what's on, and there'll be a Southern gospel song. I'm at it right there.
You reach over and turn that up.
In fact, when you guys were at our church in September, I was having a hard time just holding back from singing with you, because now many of the songs I didn't know, but there were at least 2 or 3 that I did, and man, my voice was saying,
"Get up there and sing."
this. Yeah.
I've got an extra microphone. Next time that happens,
I'll do it.
You just raise your hand.
I'll do it.
And
Absolutely.
I have no problem giving you a mic and stepping back and letting the old man go at it.
I would have some really fond memories.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, because at the retreat, we actually, some of the former members that were actually able to make it, there was Keith Jones was there, Keith Wagner was there.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he's the pastor here at Grace Bible, and John Cotner was there, and Dan Gilbert was there.
John took my place.
Yes.
He was the next lead.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But they all got up there, and man, that was so much fun singing with all those guys.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for September to come back around, because this year is the 30th anniversary. Did you ever think that Liberty would make 30 years?
I don't think I've really given that much thought, but I knew it was a good enough basic group.
Yeah.
They had everything it needed.
It was just something special about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't ever think it was going to go away.
Yeah. And part of that, in my opinion, part of that comes from the original members. You guys laid that foundation of we're up there singing and we're giving a performance and we want to do the best we can, but first and foremost it's a ministry. And you kind of touched on a little bit. You're looking for that person in the audience that this song you believe is going to really touch them, and that is still true today. And I carry that philosophy too, where we'll be in an RV park somewhere down in Arizona, and a lot of those RV parks down there are 55 plus, and they're the older generation. But you never know. Even then, you never know who's going to show up to one of these concerts. And sometimes there's somebody that will show up to one of these things, and they're brand new. They've never heard of Liberty Quartet before. They're taking a chance. Their friend said, "Hey, come along.
Sure.
Well, there's this group. I want you to come here." And they may not even be fans of Southern. This just happened last week. They may not even be fans of Southern gospel music, but there's something about those songs. There's something about the lyrics that just that they hear and they pay attention. Oh wow, I never. Oh, I like that. Or it sparks some kind of memory or some kind of, presence that they forgot,
right?
Or that they never experienced before, that brings them back into the Big C church is what we like to say. It brings them back into that fold, and that's always been kind of a goal, I think, with Liberty, is to bring people to to God and to Jesus and all of that.
Yeah, that's what I felt the entire time I was with Liberty.
Did you ever have anybody come up after a concert and say, "Man, that song you sung,
yes,
just hit me right here"?
More than once.
Yeah.
And I've always been a believer that it's difficult to sing Christian lyrics without doing it well and making sure that you're communicating and that message is going out.
Yeah.
If I were to perform, I wouldn't pick a song that I didn't believe. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure what I'm saying to those people through music is something I believe and I think they need to share.
Yeah.
And yes, people would come up and say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I kind of want to echo kind of what Will said earlier, but expand on it a little bit. It's not really a question, but I just kind of, and I think I can speak for all the guys in the quartet and previous members, that we just want to thank all of the former members. You guys laid the foundation for what we do today. Your guys' willingness to go into something that you probably, didn't know much about, your willingness to just let God's hand lead you and just step out in faith laid the foundation for what we do today. And we wouldn't be doing what we do today without you guys.
That's right.
And your faithfulness and your willingness and determination to step out in faith. So I guess I want to speak for all the guys and just thank you and thank all the founding members and Royce, just for leading the way, I guess, for what we do today.
Well, none of us knew, really, where it was headed, but we knew it was pretty special, and people told us that, and we decided, why not?
Yeah, it's just amazing to me how that overarching theme of this is a ministry first and foremost has been with Liberty since the beginning. That's why Liberty was formed.
Yeah.
Was to minister to people, and we're a full-time group, but we still do it based off of love offerings. That's how we work.
And we still don't. We sing to these churches to where maybe 5-10 people show up.
Oh, yeah.
We don't it's just. It's never about the big stage and the big lights and everything with us, and that's why I think Liberty has survived this long. Why we've been around this long, for 30 years, and I think we'll. I pray to God that we'll be around another 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. And Doran likes to say that not only ministry wise, but music wise, Liberty's always kind of been a bit of an odd duck. Because a lot of guys that joined Liberty, especially you guys back when Liberty first started, you were all a choral background essentially, and that almost choral structure has stuck with Liberty through the entire lifetime of the group, and so that we're not 100% Southern gospel. I think we're more of a Southern gospel quartet with a choir twist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And it's not something you hear a lot, and I think that has just given us a unique sound, a unique presence, and nobody else sounds like Liberty Quartet. every single lineup has been unique, but they've all been consistent throughout, I think.
Right.
And it's just gotten better and better and better from the solid foundation that you guys laid. And I'm going to echo what Peyton said. Thank you so much for what you guys did when you started, and your faith in the ministry and your support of the ministry on top of that. Even though you left Liberty a couple of years after it started to join your family and raise them and be with them, you still would come to concerts.
Oh, yeah.
And sing. And I remember I've got the all of the DVDs that Liberty has ever put out,
Okay.
all the videos.
Okay.
And I remember that very first video of Miracle Continues. And Liberty had been around maybe 6, 7 years by that point, and you'd been out of the group, I think, about 4 or 5 by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And Royce was like, "Hey, let's get the old guys back up on stage," and all of you were there, and y'all got up there and sang, and y'all knocked it out of the park. It's like you never left, you know.
Well, what was it, the 20th anniversary or whatever? We participated in that, and it was like nothing changed.
Nothing had ever changed.
We were quite up to speed on some things, but it was like it just never left us.
Yeah.
The feeling and the camaraderie and so forth.
Yeah.
It's there.
I don't know about you, I'm so looking forward to the 30th anniversary in September.
Yeah.
Bringing everybody back. We've invited everybody. We're not 100% sure if everybody's going to be able to make it. I know most of the guys are. I do know that, but there's a couple that their schedules may not work. But man, I'm really, really excited.
It'll be fun
because I've never sung with you.
Oh,
and I'm looking forward to that too.
That would be fun.
That'd be so much fun. I tell you what, man, if you're ever in the area when we're around, because we don't sing normally at home very often, but when we do, it'd be so good to see you. And I'm telling you right now, and Royce isn't afraid to call somebody up on stage. Let me tell you, if you want to sing, come on up, my friend. I've got plenty of microphones in that bus.
I'll have to do a little homework on those songs.
That'd be so much fun.
That
man.
would be fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know. You've probably got things going on that you got to get back to, but I just want to thank you so much for coming out today.
Oh, it's been awesome.
And
Spending
this almost hour with us, just shooting the breeze and talking about the good old days with how Liberty first started. And there's a lot of that I did not know about, because Royce likes to tell stories, but he doesn't remember everything.
Yeah.
And it's always good to see a different perspective. And man, I hope everybody has enjoyed this. I've enjoyed this.
I have too.
This has been a lot of fun.
It's been fun to share.
Yeah, I had no idea you were a music ed major, and it's just kind of a small world how all that kind of comes around.
That's right.
Peyton, is there anything you want to say before we close out here?
I'm just looking forward to singing with you in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be so much fun. But thank you once again, Mike, for coming out and spending time with us today and chatting. And thank you all for coming out and, man, just watching all these videos and watching all these episodes with us. And all we're doing is just sitting around talking. I could do this all day long. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining us with Mr. Mike Peters and enjoying some stories of the good old days. And we really, really hope you can join us for the 30th anniversary in September. It's going to be over in Valley Shepherd, Church of the Nazarene in Meridian. It's going to be September 18th, 19th, and 20th. We've got all kinds of events planned. All that information can be found on our website, www.libertyquartet.com/events. And if you go to that, just scroll down, click on the 30th picture, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. So I cannot wait for it. Peyton, thank you so much for joining us, and go enjoy the warm weather. Mike, thank you so much for coming out and chatting with us today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. Be safe. We love y'all, and we'll see you soon, I hope, down the road. Take it easy. Bye.